Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie, and this is going to be your weekly reading for whenever you see this video. From now on, all my weeklies will be timeless because, well, honestly, I'm struggling to commit to a schedule at this time of the year. But also, I think that it'll help these readings to apply to a wider range of people over a wider range of time. Everybody's experiencing their own journeys on their own timelines. Not everything is going to happen at the same time for everybody or for all Sagittariuses, etc. So I'm hoping that in this way I can reach more people, basically. So quick disclaimer, this is a general reading and cannot resonate with everyone. So take what does resonate and leave what doesn't. And if none of it resonates, check out one of the readings from one of your other signs, or you can go check out some of the many great and talented readers on this platform who may have something more tuned to your situation this week. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a lawyer, doctor, physician, therapist, counselor, financial expert, etc. I'm just a girl with a passion for the tarot, and anything that I say, resembling advice, is based solely on my own opinion, my own experiences, my interpretations of the cards, and any other little bits and pieces that may occur to me intuitively throughout this reading. And also, real quick, before we get started, if this does resonate with you, if you enjoy this reading, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you can get notified when I upload videos in the future. And if there are any types of readings, pick cards, themed readings, etc. that you would like to see me do on my channel, please feel free to leave your suggestions in the comments so that I can see what you guys want to see and I can implement those ideas in future videos. So with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Starting out as usual with an archetype card. And this week, you guys have the Mother, the light attributes, nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. The shadow attributes, smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. Okay, so you may be a mother, there may be some aspect of motherhood that is relevant to you guys this week. Maybe you are dealing with your mother, or you are having your own children at this time, or you're struggling with parenthood. I mean, there's so many different ways that this card can apply, so we'll get some more cards on the table to see if we can figure out what that has to do with. Next card I'm going to pull is going to be from the Psychic Tarot, and this is just going to give us an idea of what kinds of energies may be at play this week for you guys, whether it be affecting your situation or you directly. And we have material harvest. So this is very positive, of course, prosperity and abundance. The idea that the hard work that you've put in to whatever it is that you've been working on is now yielding positive material results, whether that be in the form of money or resources of some other kind, something that you have seeds that you have planted in the past are now resulting in that material harvest. So that's very good. So now I'm going to draw some cards from the Memento Mori deck, and this is going to give us an idea of what the main situation is that you're going to be dealing with this week. Alright, so we're starting out with the Spirit board. Pretty straightforward, indicating that there is some sort of spirit, perhaps a spirit guide or a past loved one who is trying to get your attention, get a message to you at this time. Perhaps you're noticing a lot of signs or synchronicities, or perhaps spirit is trying to communicate with you through dreams as well. So those could be options. Let's see what else we've got, see if we can't specify that. Okay, so we have the Wheel. So this could have to do with travel. Usually long distance travel is kind of implied by this card. But the Wheel also has a lot to do with direction. So choosing your direction in life, choosing what direction to move in next, especially if you are making any huge life-changing decisions at this time. Then perhaps Spirit is trying to come in to help guide you in making the best decision for you, the best decision to keep you aligned with your purpose or your path, whatever's going on in your life right now. With the Wheel, I also think of the Wheel of Fortune, the idea that Spirit may be indicating to you that things are happening right now in a way that has been set up for you to accomplish a certain goal, or, you know, just generally move your life into a certain direction. Let's see what else. Okay, so we have the shovel. The shovel can bury things, but it can also uncover things. You see, you have the brain and the heart there, digging into your thoughts, your memories, digging into your emotions, usually having to do with kind of getting to know yourself better, figuring out who you are, figuring out the root cause of, you know, your perspective, how you see the world, why you feel the things that you do, or perhaps how you got to where you are now. Let's see what else. So the last card I'm pulling from this deck is embalming fluid, used to preserve things. Something that you may be trying to save or preserve or memorialize, something that you want to save forever to remember. Perhaps a memory that you are trying to preserve as well. Very interesting. All relating back to the mother. This could indicate a fear, sort of. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fear, but this feeling of a need to not just preserve a memory from the past, but to preserve your roots, or your memory of your roots, where you came from, as you enter a new part of your life, or as you start to move in a totally different direction. You could be moving actual location, and you could be moving very far away, and so you're feeling this need to preserve the old part of yourself, or preserve the memory of life before these major changes, just because you'll miss it, or perhaps if you've already moved, you're homesick. And so there's this attempt to try to recreate a memory that reminds you of home, or reminds you of your mother or your parents, etc. Let's pull some tarot cards to see if we can't clarify a little bit. First, we'll clarify the spirit board. So we have the Six of Water, and it says fortitude, resilience, and humility. And to me, the Six of Water also relates obviously to the Six of Cups in the traditional tarot, which has a lot to do with nostalgia and memories, specifically relating to relationships or connections made with other people, people that you care about, family, friends, things of that nature. I'm going to clarify that as well. I think I'm going to do 2 tarot cards for each. I don't usually do that for all the readings, but when I have a lot of different cards, and I have a hard time figuring out how they relate, then that usually means that there's several energies at play in a situation at once. There's a lot going on. You may be feeling scattered. You may be having a lot of different feelings about a lot of different things. And so in order to sort it out, I'm just going to draw more cards. Because when in doubt, draw more cards, right? I don't know if that's true. Okay, we have the Ten of Water. And on the card it says rejuvenation, fulfillment, and marriage. But the Ten of Water is also the Ten of Cups, and that's all about that stable, strong, happy family dynamic, or you know, a sense of fulfillment when it comes to matters of emotions and emotional connections with other people. So there seems to be a strong theme here of remembering your family. This message from the spirit board coming and reminding you of something from your family, or something perhaps from childhood, from family life in childhood. You're definitely being asked to remember something. Let's clarify the wheel now. So we have the Three of Air, great effort, trial, and persistence. Also corresponds to the Three of Swords, which can have to do with heartbreak, sorrow, and generally difficult lessons learned in life. Let's clarify that as well. So we have the Seven of Air. This is foolishness, anxiety, and reluctance. So it could be some sort of hardship that is caused you to make this huge change, or to change direction with your life, or that has pushed you to move over a long distance or travel something of that nature. And it almost seems like there's this question of whether or not you're doing the right thing. Because the Seven of Air corresponds to the Seven of Swords, which can sometimes be about selfishness or deception, manipulation. Perhaps for some of you, there was some sort of situation that manipulated you and kind of isolated you from your family, from the life that you used to live, and it's been some time now. And it was something very difficult that you had to experience and live through. And it seems like for some of you now that you've made it through this difficult situation, this difficult part of your life, but perhaps some of you guys feel lost now, or you are coming to terms with everything, with connections that you lost during that time, where you feel like you're taken so far away from home or so far from your family. And so you have to contend with that, and that's not easy either. Let's clarify the shovel. So we have the Knight of Fire to clarify the shovel, and it says adaptability, adjustment, and camouflage. But I also get this sense of you diving in to the deepest parts of yourself to explore, to do a lot of healing work on yourself after a difficult situation has occurred. Like perhaps during that time, you had to change a lot about yourself because you had to adapt to your circumstances to survive, just to make it through. And hopefully now you're in this period of time where you no longer have to change yourself or adapt or camouflage yourself. Now you can be yourself. Now you can do the healing work. And that's where all these memories come in of the past before everything was different. Like there's just been this major change in your life that seems to have centered around a very difficult situation or event. And you feel that that has separated you from your family or from your past, a past that was primarily pleasant and nurturing. And I get this sense that now perhaps you're on your own. You're on your own, you're fending for yourself, and you're doing all right after that difficult situation, but as you start to do that internal work, it's bringing a lot of things up. So I'll go ahead and I'll clarify that Knight of Fire as well. So we clarify that with the King of Fire, knowledge, ethics, and integrity. I see this as you taking charge in your life to create the life that you want and what's best for you, and to put the pieces back together. Taking everything that you've learned up until this point and being able to apply that information in a way that is beneficial to you, but also, living your life for yourself. It's almost like perhaps there was some sort of relationship or obligation that you were committed to for some time that really seems to have taken you off your own personal path. And it took you away from what was right for you, what you wanted. It took you away from your own goals. It took you away from your family. Like, it just took you so far off track. And now you're coming back into your own power again. You're not only doing the healing work, but you're also taking decisive action to make positive changes in your life, to get yourself back on track, to realign yourself with your own personal values, your own goals, and start living your life for yourself again. So then what is this embalming fluid about? So we have the Two of Air, end of naivety, truth, and revelation. preserving a truth of some kind. This could also be preserving your values as well. The Two of Air can also refer to making a choice, usually a choice between an old perspective and a new perspective. Let's clarify that. Okay, we have the World. Transformation, reinvention, and legacy. I almost feel like this is about preserving yourself or your own character. Combining that with the shovel and pretty much all the tarot cards we have on the table, it's almost like you're trying to preserve the most genuine parts of yourself that are still present inside of you. Perhaps you spent so much time in that camouflage mode, in survival mode, that you feel that you've lost a lot of yourself in the process. And so part of this is remembering, not just where you come from, but who you are as your own individual person. And then living in that truth again. And aligning yourself, how you live, your behaviors, your habits, etc. Aligning that all back up with who you are and who you were before circumstance forced you to become somebody else. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll switch to some oracle cards now to get any additional insight that might be helpful or advice from Spirit. Whatever Spirit decides to throw our way, we'll take it, right? We'll pull some cards from the Terra Oracle deck. These are animal cards. They're very beautiful. Oh, yes. Okay, we have the Lamb. The Lamb is all about innocence. Perhaps innocence that you feel you lost during all of this right here. Whatever it is that took you away from who you used to be. We have the Elephant. This is kindred. So you may also be reconnecting with family or old friends, people from the past, or individuals who are like-minded or on a similar path that you are. So if it's not reconnecting with people from the past, then this could be meeting new people and creating new relationships with people who have had similar experiences or on the same type of healing journey, or who hold the same values as you do. Let's take one more animal. So actually we'll do two more because two came out. First is the Orb Weaver. Imagination. So we have imagination, and then we have the hummingbird, joy. I think this has a lot to do with getting back to what you love, doing what you love. Perhaps some of you guys are artists as well. We do have a lot of, actually we only have 2 fire cards, so I don't know where I was going with that. But there seems to be a great deal of creative energy here. And then going back to the material harvest for a second, perhaps you're finding a way to take your art or your craft and turn it into something that can bring in income for you and resources. But it's something that you can do while using your imagination. It is some sort of creative work. Either that, or for some of you, this could just be about you dreaming up everything that is possible for you now that you're entering this new part of your life. Now that you are getting back in touch with your true self. It's like there's a whole world of opportunity opening up for you. You can do anything. And then you are making these connections with people who are like you, people who are aligned with your values. And then those connections can open up opportunities as well. And it just seems like just this whole array of possibilities available to you at this time or in the very near future. Let's see what else we've got for you guys. We have evolution. Confirmation that everything that you've dealt with up until this point was very necessary for you to evolve as a person, for your character to evolve, for you to evolve on a spiritual level. Oops. And that everything that you're going through now is just another step in that evolutionary process internally. So we also have blocked, which I assume is coming up in relation to the shovel here, right? That there's a lot of inner work that you still have to do to fully remove any blocks or limitations that you may have placed on yourself. Yes, so there still may be some blocks for you to work through in order to access that creative potential that I was just talking about. But as long as you're doing the work, then clearing those blockages is a given. It will come as soon as you're ready, as soon as you get there. Which may not sound like helpful advice, but it's just the reality of personal evolution, of personal development. We also have birth, okay? So this to me has a lot to do with a new beginning. A new beginning for you of some kind. This could have to do with having a child of your own. Or this could just be a rebirth on an emotional, mental, spiritual level as well. That next stage in your personal evolution that we were talking about. So next we have nest and morning song. These two came out together. They're both bird related, so I think there is some symbolism behind that for some people. But establishing a home, a comfortable and welcoming home, but also the idea of the morning song, you know, waking up after that rebirth. You know, waking up to a brand new day where anything is possible, where you feel renewed. You're in a safe environment that allows you to flourish, which of course is all very positive. Okay, so next we have follow your own rhythm, which goes along with what I was saying earlier about you taking charge of your own life, doing what feels right to you, following your own internal guidance at this time, not doing what anybody else tells you to do or what anybody else tells you you should want, but doing what feels right to you, following your heart wherever it leads you, because it will lead you right back to your true self and exactly where you belong at this time. It has a lot to do with following your intuition as well. So our last two cards that we're pulling today, we have focus, sharpening your focus, focusing on your own recovery, your own journey at this point. As I was saying earlier, it does seem to me that somebody, or some of you guys, may have been in a situation where somebody else kind of took over your life, took all of your focus off of yourself and put it on them or on a different situation. And so now this whole time is about you turning your focus back onto your own path. And then the card that came out alongside that was mending. Mending your spirit, mending your life, mending yourself emotionally and mentally and spiritually. I know I've said those three words several times in this reading, but all of the three apply in this reading. I don't know, it's just like when I'm looking at these cards, I'm seeing somebody who has survived something very challenging and has been freed from circumstances that were extremely restrictive, downright controlling. And you come out of it kind of trying to remember who you are, where you come from, salvaging as much of yourself as you can, who you were before the terrible circumstances took place. but also recreating yourself at the same time as somebody new and free and powerful. Someone who can do anything. Someone who has an abundance of options and opportunities to take advantage of. Someone who has dreams and visions for the future that are not limited or blocked by another human being or any other external forces. You are 100% in control. Figuring out what to do with that control is very important, which I think is why that focus card came out. To make sure that you don't get too scattered or distracted as so much change is happening around you. That you're staying focused on your values, or that you set a goal, at least a small goal for yourself, and focus on that and just take it one step at a time. And just continue to work on that internal healing, continue to take care of yourself, and continue to build an environment, a home for yourself that provides you that security and love and nourishment that you need to continue to grow. Okay, so that's what I've got for you guys this week. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, if it resonates, if you enjoy it, like it, subscribe to it, all of that jazz. And until next time, you guys take care, and I'll see you later.